Okay. And
they wrote me off and I ain't like that, so I'ma fight that. The bad man, damn right when you thought that it was safe to relax, you gotta stretch that. The bad man, bad healers with me for real, they right here.
Like your setup.
thank you. All right, so this is the Big LAC Show. I'm your boy Big LAC. We have Mr. Milton Garris in the building.
What's going on, peoples?
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man.
All right, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. You want me to go all the way back to the beginning?
Where you from? How you got into music, audio, and all that stuff.
I thought you want me talking about how I was beating on the umbilical cord before I came out. You said to the beginning.
Hey, man. If you want to let us know, let us know.
Nah, man. Yeah, man. Pretty much, man. I started out. My parents were military, so they kind of was doing their thing. Had me all over the place, and we ended up back in Connecticut, where I was actually born. And man, I fell in love with hip hop, like real hip hop. You know what I mean? Like it used to be times, man, when I used to walk out the crib. I used to go to my boy Taboo crib in the village, right? And I looked to the left, and you had cats on cardboard boxes, you know what I'm saying? You had cats in circles, beatboxing and freestyling, just doing their thing. And the first time I saw that, man, it blew my mind. Like it was, you could just walk up and down blocks and you would see that everywhere. It just blew me away. And that's when I started trying to freestyle and get into that atmosphere. I wanted to be an MC so bad. Like I pretty much put everything aside in life to try to become an artist, man. Went from Connecticut. Then my parents ended up moving to Columbus, Georgia. And when I moved to Columbus, Georgia, kind of got into this underground scene of a bunch of MCs, man. It was like, it reminded me of what I saw going on in Connecticut. So I gravitated to that. And back then I was pretty much DJing, just trying to find a way to get into it because I really didn't think I was all that good. And then I just kept at it, kept writing, taking instrumentals, looping them, and writing, and trying to be a rapper, man. I spent a lot of years trying to be an MC and taking bad advice, not really knowing what I was doing, just know what I wanted to do. A lot of regrets when it comes to like studio environments. Like I found myself in a lot of different studios young, 15, 16 years old. I'm in all kind of studios. I'm in groups and, all cats doing all kind of stuff. And all I wanted to do was rap. I never took advantage of nothing. So I ended up moving to Atlanta. I came down here 3 different times trying to make it work down here. And, the last time I came, man, I got into what back then, I guess it was the little newspapers. I don't even remember which one it was, but you know how in the back of the newspaper they be having like houses for rent, apartments for rent, things of that nature. I called this lady, man, and like I told her I didn't know when I was gonna get paid, but I just started a job and I needed a place to stay, and I had to call about 70 something people before I got one person to agree to the terms that I was working on. And the terms I was working on was I ain't got no money. So I'm asking you to let me come stay in your room until I can get a first paycheck, till I can pay you so I could do what I had to do. And somebody bit, man, and that started it for me. Like I was able to stay in that house for 2 years, got me a job at Papa John's, and worked myself up to an assistant manager. All of this was just so that I could find a way to get around Atlanta and show people what kind of music I had going on.
Hey, man.
And it worked. I ended up getting a group called Dimensions. It was 4 of us, and man, we was killing the underground scene, performing at the A-Hop, performing at the Lions Den, all these different underground events down here. I met India Irie on the show, got to know her pretty well. This back before she blew up. And the underground scene in Atlanta used to be serious. I'm talking about, it still is serious, but I mean, and it was always funny to me. Like you would go, like you be watching the news and you hear about these cats that's performing at this spot and this spot, and you hear about the gun shooting and the craziness that would go on. But then you would go to a show, you know what I'm saying, in the West End where when I was in the West End, they used to talk about how it was the hood, you know what I mean? And people worried about getting shot and things of that nature. Man, we used to have some of the dopest ciphers down there in the West End, and you would never have no issues, want nobody fighting, and that's that culture, man. That whole hip hop culture thing. It's definitely the difference between hip hop and rap, and that has a lot to do with it, that culture. But that's kind of how I started, man. It was just all about underground, and then what ended up happening is over a period of time, I realized that rapping wasn't gonna work out for me. It's just, that's just what it was. Like, for whatever reason, man, I still feel like I'm one of the dopest MCs in the game. You know what I mean? But it just, sometimes you just know, that it wasn't for you. So I ended up going to school. I went to Omnitech in 2012.
Bro, stop for a minute. Because me and you are so parallel. I worked at Papa John's. I worked at Omnitech.
Wow.
Did you go to the one when it was on Company Highway?
Yep.
That's why I
had Mr. Lachardo as my my computer guy, and then I had Mark Baldwin as my teacher.
Yeah, I had Rambo, Ram, and I had he was from Ghana as my computer teacher. I forget his name, but yeah, that's the year I went to Omnitech, 2010, 2011. Wow. I went there with Mo Diggity, who Backwood was just talking about. Mm-hmm. Aaron, I went there with him.
Yeah, man. It was the best experience of my life, man. I ain't even on front. And the funny part about it is, in the beginning, let me tell you how I got to Omnitech, bro. So I'm at the crib, right? Now, mind you, I used to be a store manager for Papa John's. I did that for 12 years. Wow. And ended up going back as a driver, right? So as a driver, it is what it is. But it wasn't a whole lot of hours. Wasn't making a whole lot of money, you know what I'm saying? So I'm at the crib and I'm tripping because I'm like, music is all I know. That's all I know. From 16 to now, that's all I know is music. So my thing was, what can I do? What's gonna be the next thing? And that's what was on my mind. I'm in the basement watching TV, and this Omnitech commercial came on 4 times, back to back to back. I knew something was up, but I was like, that's crazy. So of course I called them on a Monday, talked to them on a Tuesday. They had me in school on a Wednesday. And I did all kind of research. And I'm talking about everything I could find. It was nothing but negative reviews.
Yeah.
It was nothing but negative reviews. And the average person would have been crazy to do what I did. But some just told me that because of the way it happened, I was like, you know what? I'm not even studying that. So I ended up getting up in the school. And it's like 12 people in the class, right? You got cats in this. All they want to do is rap.
All they want to do is rap.
That's all they wanted to do. So, and Mr. B was like, he gonna let them do what they want to do. That's the kind of teacher he was. He said they want to learn how to rap, I'm gonna teach them everything they need to know about it. I'm gonna teach them how to write bars. They want to, and I watched some transformations up in there. And watch some cats really come out of there with some bars. But it was a blessing in disguise for me because I got all of the technical. Yeah. And it's like I literally would sit down with that man from 7 a.m. till 4 o'clock, and he would just go in. And I'm talking about, so I learned how to mix, I learned how to master, just all the things that was necessary, and at that time, man, I cut down football. I literally cut the TV off, stopped watching football so that I could study, because Omnitech is quick and they don't really give you time to read all that stuff in class or none of that. Like and so it was a different beast. And I was like, I didn't want to come out and be one of them guys that just got over and, got my degree. So I literally buckled down that year, man. And it was probably the best thing I ever did, because what ended up happening was I developed some habits that never stopped. And because of that, I feel like I'm slowly but surely getting to where I'm trying to be, where I want to be, So all of that happened, man. I'm at Omnitech, right? And I ran into some cats that were working at the Port of Sanford. My teacher just happened to know the head engineer down there at Port of Sanford, so I ended up getting a 6 months internship. It wasn't supposed to be a 6 month internship. It was supposed to be like a week, and I was supposed to get hired, right? He kept telling me they was gonna hire me and they wouldn't hire me for whatever reason. Everybody around me thought I was crazy. Like, boy, you need to leave that job. I ain't no way. And not only that, but I was riding my bike from Redan Road all the way to Rainbow Drive because I didn't want to tell them that I ain't have no way to get to work. You know, and in that venue it closes at like 9. Well, the bus route stops at 10. So the venue might stay open till 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night. And I wasn't trying to tell them that I'm like, man, I'm trying to get on. I'm not going there. So this lady named Miss Burrow, Chris Owens' mother, gave me a bike. She heard me at church talking about, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And she gave me a bike and said, this is what you do if you really want to get there. And so that's
wait a minute. A bike as in pedaling or bike as in motorcycle?
Pedaling.
Whoa.
Yeah, pedaling. So, and I would utilize the bus sometimes when I could catch it, put the bike on the bus and get to this destination or that destination. But, 1 o'clock in the morning, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
So I had to drive that sucker all the way home. But it paid off because they ended up hiring me. And then 6 months later, the head engineer left, and then they gave me the job. So the next thing you know, I went from just working at Port of Sanford to being the head engineer there. And that's kind of where it all started, man. I worked that job and did all these different things while I was slowly but surely working on my craft, just working on beats, and taking that same method that I learned in school, I was applying it to them beats. And then I found out about the university that changed my life, if you ask me, YouTube University. When I tell you, man, it's like there's nothing you can't find on YouTube. A lot of people talk about the negative stuff that you get, or you can't trust everything that you hear on the internet, and I get all of that. But my thing is, what I do is I go search for a video when I'm trying to figure something out, right? I go to that whatever that video is, and then I look for more videos that are talking about the same subject. If you got 25 videos talking about the same subject and you figure 12 of them are talking about saying it the same way, then they might be on the right path. You just got to know how to, do your research and go through them and figure out what you're trying to figure out. And man, so, being an old school producer, working with the MPCs of the days, and you got these new cats that was working on these FL studios, man, I fought that for so long.
You were trying to stay hardware, not go software.
Yeah, like I just wasn't trying to hear it for whatever reason. And then I don't even know what it was, but I woke up one night, man, and I was like, you know what? It doesn't make sense for me to be running around here talking about I'm just a hardware producer, but I can't get nobody to touch my beats.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me being selfish. And then watching Timbaland and listening to a lot of stuff that Timbaland had to say, man, and he kind of helped change my mindset. So once that happened, man, it's been on and popping ever since. Yes, and like, see, I've been knowing Monster for like 8-9 years now, probably longer than that. It's been a minute. And me and Monster met at Decatur Confessions, right? There's a little spot, a little studio we used to go to. Some of the cats that I used to rap with. And Monster, we drinking or whatever, and Monster needed a ride to the crib, so I'm taking Monster to the crib, and Monster kept passing out on me, so I couldn't find his crib because he couldn't tell me where he lived.
Monster gonna kill you for this story.
Yeah, he gonna love it. And then it seemed like every 15-20 minutes he would wake up. So when he would wake up, I get a little bit more information, and then we get closer to the destination. But we got him home, man. We got him home, and so like for the last couple, next couple of years after that, we just kind of kept in touch. And Monster was like, he'd be like, man, send me some beats, butter. I sent him beats. Send me some beats, butter. I sent him beats. So now I'm like, yo, but he obviously ain't feeling my beats. Like, he can't be feeling my beats because I'm straight sending them to him. And, he said he liked them, whatever. But then he kind of broke it down to him. He said, look, man, he's like, I'm handling business right now. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He said, I'm going to school. And he just kind of broke it down, like told me exactly where he was, you know what I'm saying? And then next thing so I decided I'm going to start selling beats on BeatStars. So I get me a BeatStar account, you know what I'm saying? I got my beats on BeatStars, you know what I'm saying? A couple of months go by, nobody bought no beat. Start trying to promote it, doing all these different things. A couple more months go by, ain't nobody buying no beats. And then I'm watching YouTube videos of these cats talking about making $150,000 on BeatStars. I'm doing this on BeatStars, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So of course I ain't even gonna lie, man. I started to doubt where my skill set was, but then you know, once I dealt with it, I went through it. I was like, you know what? Here we go. Let's go back to the university, and I just started studying what these young kids was doing, how these young kids were doing it, and what really solidified it for me is I was in the studio with these cats, and these young dudes come in, you know what I'm saying, with the dreads, you know what I'm saying, chilling, just doing their thing, you know what I'm saying. Started flowing, going off. I'm like, okay, that's what's up. First thing they asked me, where your loops at? What kind of loops you got in that computer? What's up, OG? Where your loops at? I'm like, what you mean where my loops at? You mean my beats? You asking for my beats? Nah, man, where your loops at? They literally wanted me to pull up loops so they could hear the loops. So they could, and I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And started getting into that and realized that they done made it easier to produce music.
Yeah.
Stuff that we used to sit and spend hours and hours and hours making sure we had the right instruments and learn it this way and that way. Now, all these cats doing is taking loops, looping it, put 808 on it, put some jazzy hats on it, and then that's it.
That's it.
They don't even mix no more. Like
Nope.
they be telling me like I realized that I was taking too long making beats. And I didn't think I was taking that long. I thought I was doing it right. You know, I'm EQing here, EQing there, boosting here, boosting there, taking this out, making sure this sound like it's supposed to sound. Man, these cats they ain't putting compression on instruments no more.
But see, the thing is, you still are doing it right. Because once they make it, get a deal, the engineer that do it for the record label is gonna do exactly what you do.
And I found that out messing with Monster. Like, cause Monster, you know, with Monster, I be expecting him to, like, I'll give him something and then, you know, I'll be like, man, that bass is a little too this, that, or the other. And I'll be like, he probably gonna tell me to do this. I don't get none of that from them. None of the artists. They just take, and then I finally went to the studio with him. And then I realized what the deal was. Like, his engineer was in there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? So as long as I was, so of course it's funny because after that session, I started to look up the best ways I could help that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what could I do as a producer to make it easier for the engineer when the engineer get the track? And then I started working my sounds like that. So I still do a little something because I'm not gonna be lazy just to be lazy, regardless. You know what I mean? That's just who I am, and I feel like that should help me develop my sound if I continue to do it that way versus just trying to do what they do. But what I learned is, so back to the B-Star joint. So I was doing all that with the B-Stars, right? Upset, frustrated. So, you know, I'm looking at cats dropping their stuff on Instagram. So I'm like, let me, you know, put a couple of snippets on Instagram. Because, you know, B-Star, you put a whole track on there. That's why I was so against Instagram. So I started putting 1-minute clips on Instagram. And I got cats hitting me up for beats. Like, I'm talking about day 2. I had a cat hit me up. I sold a beat day 2 off Instagram. Where I still ain't sold a beat on B-Stars. Still. You know what I'm saying? And that whole experience really took my confidence to a whole nother level because cats was leaving comments and cats was saying this and cats was saying that. And, you know, some of my friends from back in the day was like, yo, cats that have heard my beats before was like, yo, what's going on? You sound loops. I'm not even gonna lie. It's something about being able to take a loop that you know is fire and then just doctoring it up how you want to doctor it up. And then these artists go crazy over it.
What site you go to? Looper Man?
I started out with Splice.
Splice.
That's really the only one I was messing with for a while. And then what happened was I ran into Cymatics. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No.
Man. When I tell you, I'm tell you why I like Cymatics. Because I started to think, okay, so you got all these different sites where people are getting all these different instruments, right? But you look at Splice, it's thousands of folks messing with Splice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to deal with that. And I get it, you know, if you a producer, you doing your thing, you're gonna make it you're gonna make it yours. But with Cymatics and some of these littler guys, they only have like, you know, they might have 500,000 followers or whatever. And I try to look for cats like that are producing dope sounds and use their sounds because I know the chances of everybody and their mama having those sounds are not as great. You know what I'm saying? And that's been working for me, man. And Cymatics, they have some really nice stuff. And what they do is they get a group of producers and put them in a room and they just create. You know,
try Looper Man.
I am gonna try Looper Man.
Yeah, because they actually tell you how many people downloaded each one.
That's dope.
It gives you that number, how many people downloaded, and then people will put in the comments if they used it. Because they'll say, if you used this, let me know. you know, and they all free. And then you can go through all the genres. You can put in all the tempos. So if you starting off with a drum kit and your tempo 130, you can go to Looper Man, put in horns at 130, and you will get a loop at 130 with just horns. And it tells you 3,000 people downloaded this already. So it gives you that. You know, out of the 3,000 that downloaded it, maybe 1,000 have tried to use it. And out of that 1,000 that used it, 10 of them are competent in using it instead of just letting it loop and not switching it up. So, yeah, try that. Let me ask you some questions, Milt.
Yeah, because as you can see, I keep talking.
Oh, I ain't gonna let you. We got about 10 minutes. So you met Monster. You started your journey into becoming a better producer. In your words, you know, you started learning more. Do you find that since you were so geared towards the Akai and all that stuff, using a beat machine, do you find it's better using the software on your laptop, or was it better using the beat machines to produce?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say one was better than the other. I'd say one is quicker than the other.
So,
because I honestly feel like I'm doing the same thing I'm doing the same thing I was doing with the Akai on the programs, you know, and I actually use the MPC and the MPC software as well. And then of course I use Logic Pro, but it just makes it easier in my opinion. So
you're a Mac guy?
Yeah, I'm a Mac guy.
You prefer Mac over PC?
Yeah, only because that's just what I know. You know, I went to school, they gave me they gave me the Mac stuff, so I just stayed there.
Yeah, that's how they do that. Omnitech, they got the Macs.
Yeah, so I kind of stayed in that genre.
Best song you have made so far?
Best song I have made so far. I like that Walk With Me that I did for Monster.
You did that?
Yeah, I did. I did Walk With Me. I did Zookeeper. I did that's why they call me Dula Banks. I did Tried, Trusted, and True by Sir Calloway.
I was at the Walk With Me video shoot.
Okay. Yeah, so
I like that song.
Man, appreciate it.
What is that sound that start?
Man, it's a sample that I found that I was able to put in this program to change the flip the texture of it.
Yeah.
Man, I did so much that sounds ridiculous, and I'm just glad that it came out the way it came out. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know, man, when you go to manipulating stuff. You just don't know what other people are gonna think. But when I heard it, I was like, yo, the way that's looking started, I was like, yeah, this is it. And
it's gonna change from the time you do it to get through the engineer.
Yep.
Because ain't no telling what he got to do to make it match the voice of the artist.
But I mean, Somatics, man, they have some dope stuff. I think they was the first cats that I've seen that like you're co-owner of the samples. So when it comes to clearance, literally people can go through me. As long as my name is on the production, then we good. Their catch is if somebody get a hold of some samples from you and you ain't on that production, they can revoke the license from you. That's the only thing about it. But yeah, that's kind of how they set it up though. But what that means is you the only one that can use these sounds, and if somebody else uses them, your name better be on it as executive producer or something, or they will cut that contract.
That's dope, but that's scary.
It is, because that's what I said. I've seen some situations like it makes collabs harder to do.
Way harder.
Because if you mess around and do a collab and you send somebody a sound and then they like that sound and they use it later, or they don't use it in that collab and then use it later, you could lose your license. So, but being that I read those licenses and I read them early, I am not gonna make that mistake.
Yeah, that's scary, because if I produce a song for JC and he don't use it, he give it to somebody else and it end up on YouTube.
Yeah,
that's a lot of legal wrangling going on.
Yeah, but what I can say about them is they're real understanding. So it's like, because I've seen situations like that, where situations like that have happened, or somebody has dropped some beats on somebody else's hard drive, stuff like that, and they do talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And they get back to you quick. And in one of those situations, you gotta wait forever. And they get it. They don't. They have their things set up, but they do get it because I've seen them kind of let some people go. Yeah. So that's some good stuff.
So, what do we have going on now? Who are you? Are you just only a low breed only producer, or are you producing for everybody?
Man, so I'm producing for everybody. I'm trying to get look, I'm just putting it out here right now. I will be the next hot producer coming out of Atlanta. That's just what it is. I'm gonna make it happen. There's no if, there's no when. It's I'm going to make it happen. And how I'm making that happen is I'm working with everybody. Like, I'm overworking myself. I know I am. I ain't getting no sleep. None of that. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy Rem G, he's supposed to be coming out with something soon. Official Threat. He got a song that he did with the Witch Doctor that I love. Man, I love that beat. A guy named AOL Shawty out here doing his thing. Ja Blue, female MC, out here doing her thing. Hebrew Ishmael out here doing his thing. Man, so many artists, man. I'm meeting them through Instagram, man. I'm meeting them through Instagram, and I'm working. I'm just working. I heard Zaytoven say that was the best thing he could have ever did when he started giving his tracks away, so that he could get people, so people could hear what he had to offer. And that's where I'm at now. Like, I know so many dope producers out there. You know what I mean? That ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it ain't, and I'm there now. I get it. It ain't about how dope you are. It ain't about your skills. But what can you do to help get to the next level? What can you do to get it to where people hear your music? And as a producer, my teacher used to tell me this in school all the time. He was like, "Yo, man, your beats sound okay. So now you just need to get you some artists."
Yeah.
And that's what and for him, he's like, who cares? Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna have an artist that's gonna hear a beat, and they're gonna like it, and they're gonna make it dope. Mm-hmm. And that's just how it works. So you have to get off that mindset. So a lot of things I stopped. I used to trash beats because I didn't think they were dope. And I learned that and you have enough people come in and be like, "Yo, I like that one," and you be like, "That's the last beat I thought somebody was gonna like."
Yeah.
And once I got that in my spirit, I quit doing that. So I quit judging who I give my beats to. Like, I used to, I'm from the old school, so if it didn't sound like some Wu-Tang Clan or somebody, a lot of times I'm not trying to hear it because I'm just a hip hop head. But I learned I had to stop doing that too. And it seemed like that's when I started getting traction. When I stopped doing that and just I'll give beat to somebody that I know they finna do something I don't like. You know what I'm saying? But I had to learn that that's the move. Because you're not going to like everything. And then how many songs do I not like that are #1 hits?
Exactly.
Lots of them.
And a lot of producers, I've dealt with a lot of producers that stop themselves, just like with this show I do. I don't charge people for interviews. And it's not because I'm rich or anything. It's because I get more people in here that want to be interviewed that probably don't have the money that these other shows are charging. Mm-hmm. The more people that like you, that watch this show, the more money I'm going to get in the long run.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of producers I've run into, especially in Atlanta, they handicap themselves by wanting to charge when you really ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
If you charge somebody $50 for a beat, you charging the wrong people, because the people that's actually gonna do something with it are the people that are gonna say, "Hey, let me get that. Let me do something with it," and they take off with it.
Dude, that's why. Like, I've been in a lot of these situations. Like where I run into a bunch of artists. They got a whole crew. Be 10, 15 of them, whatever. The Official Threat, that's another one that I'm working with. They kind of got the same arrangement, and they remind me a lot of Monster and them. But what I love about them is I give Monster a beat on Monday. He got a song written to it by Monday night.
Oh yeah.
He figuring out what's going on Wednesday, and the video might be done in a week or two. Like, that's just how he roll, and it's like that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. If you trying to get somewhere, and especially in today's game, you have got to put out content. You have to have content out there. Don't worry about it blowing up today. Because at the end of the day, when one does blow and they get back to that page and they see all the material that you have, now people gonna pick favorites, and now you're gonna have exactly what you need. But you can't do that if you ain't got nothing on your page. What's the sense of a song blowing up and then when they go to your page, that's the only song they see? Or
you can't produce anything for them when they ask.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's a issue a lot of producers have too, and a lot of people that are in the industry. Period. When you may have something dope going on, but when somebody come to you and say, "Hey, can you reproduce that or something similar?" and you can't, it was a fluke.
Now, see, now me personally, I worry about that sometimes, because I'm gonna tell you something about me when it comes to production. Now, I think I'm getting better at it now because I'm doing a lot more studying on just different things. But I produce by feel. Like
Really?
I try to get out of that trying to do it their way. Like I might use the instruments that are being used in a trap song, but I'm gonna do it the way it feels, how it feels to me. And I used to think it was a curse because I used to have that problem. People would be like, so can you create a track like this? And then I go to try to create it and it won't work because
Yeah.
I get into I get into the track. And then the next thing you know, like I'll start a track and my whole mindset will be trap. And before I'm done, it's hip hop or R&B, or I can't, and I can't stay focused on, you know what I'm saying? Like I keep saying using the word can't. I'm gonna stop that because I've been doing it lately, but it took some work. You know what I'm saying? It took some work for me to focus on. Okay, I'm just gonna make this a trap track, and I'm gonna do it just how they do it. And somebody was telling me that I need to stop that though. They was like, just do what you do, and it is what it is, and that's pretty much where I'm at. I continue to produce by feel. It probably drives Monster crazy because he been trying to get me to make another Walk With Me type track, you know what I'm saying, and Zookeeper track, and I'm working on them, but it's like I get to this one, I get to that one, but then I give him a track and be like, you know what, that's Jungle Baby, you know what, that's Slum, he be telling me. And so I think that's how I'm gonna start doing it now. I give him the Monster and let him, because he know who gonna work best for what song.
So now I'm about to get you out of here in a minute. We over 30. So now are you more geared towards I gotta make money for every beat, or you more geared towards I'm worried about getting out there and getting the residuals?
I'm trying to get my name out there. The money about to come. I ain't even sweating that right now. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not sweating it. I know it's gonna come because I feel it. I can't explain it, but I feel it. It's a shift going on in my circle right now. My energy's changed, and it ain't going nowhere. So that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I got 400 artists out here rocking over my beat, somebody finna blow. That's just what it is.
Man, that's
that's
a good way to look at it.
I mean, that's just what it is, and that's so. For me. I've learned early that it's all about a numbers game. You know what I mean? It's a numbers game. The more tracks I can get out there, the more people I can get on my beats, the better the chances of me having a hit. That's just what it's just like playing the lottery. I can't win if I ain't in. If I don't spend that dollar for that one ticket to get in the lottery, then I have no chance of winning. So if I don't have tracks and artists rocking over my beats, then I have no chance of having a hit. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it just feels good to be surrounded by so many dope artists. To have a home like Low Breed, that feels good. I've never had that, and that feels good. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that I know, when I create something that's dope, I know I can send it to Monster, and somebody gonna be on it.
That's what's up. Hey, Milton, give everybody your information, your beat stars, so they can
Well, the B stars has been X'd.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not wasting no more time with that.
I was about to go on the other day.
I'm not wasting. Yeah, I kind of X'd that, man. Plus the tracks I had on there were old. You know what I'm saying? And the
What
whole
that
nine.
mean? You know, I have a label outside entertainment. You remember SoundClick?
Mm-hmm.
I just went on SoundClick a couple of days ago looking for beats.
Wow, SoundClick's still.
Oh, it's still there.
They still there.
And then what I do is I don't look at the beats that people have just put on there this month, last month. I go back 5-6 years because it's a lot of gems on there, man. I was listening to some stuff the other day. I was like, this is dope. And I reached out to the guy. He was like, nobody want it. You can have it for $25.
That's
So
right.
here go your $25 through Cash App, bro. I want it.
Yeah.
But give us your information so people can get some beats from you.
So you can reach me at Garris Milton on Instagram, and you can reach me at Milton Garris on Facebook.
That's it?
That's it.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Man, I'm a work in progress, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm working on it every day.
We got to get you a website.
But I ain't gonna, and that's where I'm at now. I was about to have one made, and then I realized that I haven't seen enough producer websites to just go with this person because they say they can do websites. And I wanted to look at some actual beat sites to see what they're looking like, so I can figure out how I want to construct it. Cause
you know they got the beat sites at the templates. You can just make it yourself.
yeah, I hear that too.
We gonna work. I'm gonna be on your ass. We got to get this out here.
That's what's up.
All right, man. Let's get out of here. I appreciate you coming.
Man, I appreciate you having me, man. This was fun. It really was.
Really?
Fun. Yeah, I was nervous, man. I thought I was gonna come in and clam up.
It seemed like you were nervous.
Yeah, man. I guess it's just, yeah, I don't know what that was. It came out. You made me feel comfortable, so that's what's up.
Hey, man, that's a. I don't know how good I feel about that because I want to make you feel real uncomfortable.
Well, it did work.
I appreciate you coming through, bro.
Didn't work at all. All right, I appreciate you.
They wrote me off and I ain't like that, so I'ma fight that. The bad man, damn. Right when you thought that it was safe to relax, you gotta stretch that. The bad man, bad. Healers with me from